So here I am for some Wednesday wind down yoga. And I'm here on my floor. I've got my yoga mat, but you can just use whatever floor space you have, carpet, um, or put a towel down, whatever. And you're going to need a couple of props. I've got a sofa cushion, the back of my sofa cushion, or you could use a couple of bed pillows. And then I'm also going to grab a couple of cushions off the bed. As you can see, I'm well prepared. And we're just going to do about half an hour of really relaxing wind down yoga. So we're going to start lying on our backs. So I'm going to face this way and we'll see how that works. Hopefully it's kind of looking okay. Yeah, this looks pretty good. All right. So we're going to start on our back, lying down. And we'll start by bringing the right knee to chest. And yeah, you can totally see my bum here, so I'm going to turn maybe. I don't know which way is better. Let's do this way. There we go. And I just want you to hug that right knee in towards your chest. And take a few big sighs. So a long, smooth breath in through the nose. And a big sigh out through the mouth. Last one, big in breath through the nose. And a sigh out. Really good. Then we're going to drop that right knee over to the left for a twist. And that right arm can come out to the side. I've got mine in like a stop sign cactus arm here. And you can turn that gaze over to the right. You want this right shoulder to kind of be grounded, and this right knee can hover a little bit. Maybe rest the foot down on the floor, or you can pop a cushion under that right knee. We want this shoulder grounded, maybe even holding onto this hip, kind of weighing that down, or the knee. Just sinking into some slow and smooth and deep breaths. And just kind of letting everything in the mind that's popping up, chattering away, just kind of let it be, let it go. Just focus on what you can feel and your breath. And we'll turning back to center, and we'll lift that right leg up, hold behind the thigh. And you can flex those toes back toward the face. Maybe you can flex and point that foot. Maybe you want to take some ankle rolls. Maybe here you can hold a little bit higher behind the knee or the back of the calf. Make some opposite circles with that foot. Good. You're going to bend that right leg down and take the left leg up. Really good. Now we're starting with drawing that knee into the chest, aren't we? Just hugging it down. Just noticing that breath, noticing any sensations in the body. And start to quiet down and find a little bit more stillness. You can kind of start to realize some tension that we're holding, or maybe some sensations in the body that we've been ignoring all day because we've been busy. And then turning this into a twist. So that left knee is coming over to the right, and left arm can be out to the side. You can turn your gaze over to that left hand. And just a really simple twist. Left shoulder is down. Right knee, you can see mine's floating a little bit, but I've got my foot resting down. Soften into your face. Come back to center. Lift that left leg up. Maybe hold behind that thigh. And you can just flex those toes back towards the knee, pressing the heel up. You can point and flex. Maybe you want to take some circles with that ankle. Just make sure you make them really slow and mindful. And just notice all of the different kind of storm of sensations that all of that movement in your ankle creates downstream in your leg, your knee, anywhere that you can feel those sensations. The more you can tap into those feelings in the body, it gets us out of that thinking mind. Really good. Drop that right leg down, left leg down. Now I'm going to bend the right knee as well. Coming into a few bridge lifts here. I'm going to move my cushions out of the way so I can turn onto my side here so you can see a little bit better. So arms down by the sides, and using an inhale to start to roll the hips up, and then exhale, slowly roll them down. So initiating this movement kind of from the lower back, thinking about sort of rounding that down, tucking that pelvis under, and then floating up, which can be really nice, and releasing for that lower back, and then roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. And you might even notice as you roll up and down some sticky spots or places where you feel like you can't separate your vertebrae. Again, just noticing and feeling. Might be the first time you've kind of connected with your body today. Really good. From here, we're going to grab one of those cushions or even a couple. We're going to lift those hips up again and place one or even two cushions underneath your hips. And then let them rest down. So we're in a supported bridge here. And you might like to bring your hands down to your lower belly. Or maybe the arms out to the side with the palms turned up so that chest is nice and open. Just softening. Taking a little scan through your face. And notice all of that little muscular tension that's happening. Just let it go. And soften even more into the forehead and your jaw. I tend to find that I have this perpetual worry scowl on my face a lot of the time. So only when I come into my practice that I really notice that and soften and let it go. And it's really easing for a lot of tension throughout the whole body, just to soften that face and the jaw. Notice how heavy you feel. Heavy pelvis onto those cushions. The weight of the feet down on the floor. The weight of the head. Just letting yourself sink and surrender and let go. Taking a couple more breaths here. Very good. Lifting up your hips just enough to slide those cushions out of the way. Just take a moment with the hips down, a couple of breaths. Slowly onto your side. And slowly up to a comfortable seat. Sitting in our Virasana, so our kneeling pose. So sitting onto the heels like this. Again, you can use a cushion. So I've just kind of got one of my cushions off my bed here, and I'm going to tuck that between my feet and kind of sit back on it. Really good, but for me that kind of doesn't maybe feel high enough, so you can maybe sit on even onto another one. Really good. Just sitting there, hands down on the shins. Just finding a soft belly breath here. Good. And I'm going to bring hands down behind and kind of squeeze those glutes and lift the hips. Really good. Can lower back down. One more time. Shoulders up and back. Squeeze and lift those hips. Really good. Sitting back down. And here's where you can use that other cushion down behind you, creating even kind of a longer cushion. A bolster would be perfect, but we don't always have those kind of props. And here we're going to find a reclined hero pose. So you're welcome to stay up like this, or even lean back on those hands. If that's enough for the front of your thighs, you're welcome to stay there. Otherwise, you can lean back onto your elbows and maybe rest there. Maybe you can come all the way back down. And maybe you can lift those arms overhead, holding opposite elbows. Softening here, so finding a level for you that is close enough to your edge that you can stay here for a few breaths and actually relax into it. And that might mean coming out a little bit. Just finding that point where you can stop and rest and breathe and soften. Beautiful. Coming out, if you're all the way down, you can bring those elbows beside you. Press yourself slowly up. Beautiful. We can take a twist towards the left. So hand can come on the outside of the knee. Other hand can come down behind or on that bolster or cushion. And then twisting the other way. Really good. And we're going to stay here with the left leg, but I'm going to extend the right leg out in front. And I want to stay on those cushions because I want my pelvis to be level. So I don't sort of want to be tilting off to one side. We want that level. So I've got that right leg out in front, left knee is bent, and we kind of don't want this turning in with that thigh rolling inward. Kind of have yourself nice and level. as we bend up this right foot, you can hold onto the outside of your foot, connect your belly onto your thigh here, and then as much as you can or want to, you can fold forward and keep that connection, hands to feet, belly to thigh. Straighten that leg as much as you want to and fold in. Release the hands from the feet. Slowly walk yourself back up. And we'll change sides. So this right knee can bend again and tuck under. I'm going to shuffle those cushions off to the left a little bit so I can extend that left leg out. You can see my foot right in front of the camera there. And you can see we want these hips level. So if I don't want to sort of be tilting off to this side or like have this the leg that's straight out dropping lower than this bent knee because your bum's sitting on your heel here. We want a nice level pelvis, and we can bend, grab that foot and fold in, extending that leg as much or as little as you can or want to. And cool, hands releasing, walking yourself back up. I'm going to go down to one cushion here as we swing both legs out in front. And same thing with holding the outsides of those feet and then starting to walk those forward. Belly connects to thighs, hands to the feet as you fold in. You can really round that forehead down towards your knees, even tucking the chin into the chest, sort of pressing that head back in space as you tuck the chin in. Hands release from your feet, walk yourself back up. Let's cross those legs. You can move those cushions, bolster off to the side. I'm going to make our way back down onto our back, but we're going to keep these legs crossed for a little hip release. So crossing those legs and laying down, keeping the cross of the legs. So right foot is staying crossed, but we're going to release the left foot You can even reach down and snuggle that right heel a little bit closer into the groin. So this might be enough for you, releasing the front of that right hip. If it's not, then you can always lift that left knee to chest. Or if you want even a little bit more, lift the hips, tuck the pelvis under, lower back down, then maybe lift that knee as well. And just noticing your breath, and how the body is feeling. Starting to soften every exhale into the front of that right hip. Notice if there's some resistance there, and just let it go. Cool, changing sides. So drop that left foot down and bring that left foot into a cross as well. This time we're releasing the right foot. Left foot can snuggle up a little bit closer, heel towards your groin. And maybe you want to hug that right foot in. Maybe you want to lift those hips, tuck the tailbone under and lower down. Maybe the right knee comes to chest. I invite you to use your inhale breath to kind of travel your awareness deeper into the front of that left hip. And then exhale to soften that whole area and let go. Inhale, kind of burrow that awareness down into the front of that left hip. Exhale, softening and letting it all go. Cool, dropping that right foot down and the left as well. And then we're going to use that cushion one more time. So knees bent, and we're going to place that cushion underneath the hips. And you might need to adjust it a little bit as we bring the knees to chest and then lift them up. So if you are near something like, I could maybe turn around and rest my legs against my chest of drawers here, or even rest them on my bed. But because I'm showing you guys what we're doing here, I'm just going to leave them lifted up. And for me, feeling like I'm taking that a little bit lower. So it's just resting on sort of my pelvis and then downward. It means that my legs feel effortless as they're lifting up in the air. So that's what we're looking for, that effortless sort of hanging of the air, the legs up in the air. So if you need to rest them on something, please do. Shuffle yourself to a wall or a chair. You can even kind of rest those feet onto a chair like this. So those hands again can be on your belly. That's quite a grounding and centering kind of practice. Or if you want the shoulders and chest to feel a little bit more open, maybe you take those arms down by your sides with the palms up. Maybe just with the eyes closed. using your proprioception, so one of your senses, just like your sense of smell or taste, your ability to sense your limbs in space, maybe just feeling into where those feet are without using your eyes, just using that internal awareness. And good, floating those feet down, popping them down onto the mat. You can lift that cushion out of the way, lower those hips down. And here you can find your way onto your back for our final relaxation. I've got about 5 minutes just to lie in stillness, or you're welcome to sit up and complete this in a seated meditation. Otherwise, lying down, finding a really comfortable position with the body. I invite you to close your eyes. Really soften your whole face. Skin across your forehead, around your eyes. Letting your eyes kind of sink back into their sockets. Softening your cheeks. Letting that jaw kind of hang loose with the lips lightly together. Letting the fingertips just soften and curl in towards the palm. Let your belly go and soften so it can breathe, expand. Feel the weight, the heaviness of your pelvis and the length of your legs. As you relax right down into the soles of your feet. Resting your awareness in your breath. It's feeling and riding each wave of breath as it flows in and out of the body. And notice how there is no effort required to breathe. Slowly bringing your mind back into your body. Bringing a little bit of movement to your fingers and toes. Making your way onto your side. And then up to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands together in front of your chest in Anjali Mudra, prayer position. And just thank yourself for taking this time on the mat. However it is you feel after completing this little 30-minute relaxing practice. Just know that connection with the body and that movement of the body always brings benefits. And thank you for allowing me to guide you through a practice. Namaste.